in Sioux City. One of the rescue's longest volunteers is hanging up the dog leash and retiring from Noah's Hope. Wade Swartz has been with the nonprofit since its start. From trapping sick and injured animals to transporting rescues to their vet appointments or forever homes to fostering countless dogs, Swartz has been instrumental in the organization's efforts to help animals across Siouxland.
She's been with me since day one. We've put a lot of miles together on the road. He's our trapper, transporter, foster, temperament tester. There's nothing that Wade has not done in our rescue, and he does it well. And he's always available at the drop of a pin.
For Swartz, it's all about seeing animals through their journey, from their darkest moments at the start of their rescue to finding their families and forever homes.
Well, some of them need that love that they never get. They're strays and they're hurt. They got mange, and it feels good when you watch a dog come out of the pits and come up and get into a good home. It just makes you feel good.
Now, Swartz tells me he's adopted a few dogs from Noah's Hope, and it's seeing past rescues happy in their forever families that makes him the happiest. Now, if you'd like to be a volunteer like Wade or just want to help Noah's Hope in their mission to help animals, there are many ways you can do that. To sign up to foster or even to adopt an animal they have in their rescue right now, you can do that by visiting their official Facebook page. The nonprofit posts the latest rescues, pets available for adoption, and any opportunities to volunteer right there on their Facebook page. If you are interested in volunteering or becoming a foster, adopting a pet, or just learning more, we have all of Noah's Hope's information linked in tonight's story now at KTIV.com.